Hi everyone, happy Friday. Thanks for joining us today. It's the first Friday in March, so you know what that means. If you are like most of us here in North America, we're just over a week out from daylight savings time. And what that means at this time of year is that we're going to spring ahead. So we're actually going to lose that hour at the top part of the day to really extend the light a little bit later throughout the day. What this time of year is notorious for is wreaking havoc on our circadian rhythms. What that means is that our bodies have adjusted and acclimated to a certain amount of light in both the day and the night, and now we're going to need to do a little bit of readjustment and reacclimation. But that's perfect, my friends, because today we are going to be talking about sleep. My name is Kristin. I'm the National Educator here at Sage. One of my very, very favorite topics to speak about it is sleep. I'm super passionate about curating a sleep routine, a bedtime routine that really supports your wellness, that really helps you to get that optimal amount of sleep each night. I'm going to say that for me, my friends, I'm dialed in. I have, like I said, been working at this for a number of years. I have a routine that starts with my skincare regimen. It moves into guided meditation. This is where I add product, and then the really important piece for me is diffusing. So I'm going to actually take you through products today that are going to support all of those pieces of your routine. Hopefully you find something new, something you're curious about that you can be in support of your sleep wellness as well. I'm going to start with skincare because today we launched some brand new products. So I'm going to start with a small kit that you can find both in stores and online. This is called Happy Face. So say hi to Happy Skin. I love this packaging. I'm so excited. This is a 3-piece kit, limited edition. I'm going to talk about each of the pieces inside, and then I'm going to show you a full-size product that we launched this morning as well. So let's get started with the star of the show. This is our brand new clay mask called Radiance Mode. So you may recall, as part of our skincare collection, we have another clay mask called Detox Mode. That is a purifying mask. It's more for removing impurities from the skin. This, my friends, this is a radiance mask. So think about glow, think about luminosity, think about brilliance and brightening for the skin. That's what we're going to get here. So this is just the tiny little mini size that's going to launch limited edition as part of this kit. So it's a really great way to trial the product. I want to talk about the star of the show. It's the key ingredient called Kieselite clay. So this is a really unique and fascinating clay that acts in a different way than you'd see in something that's purifying or detoxifying. This clay, it's actually sourced right here in beautiful British Columbia. So we source this clay from a glacial clay deposit just right off the central coast of BC. This is an ingredient that's been used by people indigenous to the region for hundreds of years in support of healthy looking skin. So when you want something a little bit more brightening, a little bit more radiant, that's what this clay does. It has this beautiful, beautiful color. I'm going to show it to you in just a minute. It's like a rich dark green, so it has a really nice depth to it. And this is an ingredient you can actually leave on the skin for quite some time. So this mask, we're going to recommend about 10 to 20 minutes, and you're going to find that the skin just feels softened, it feels plump, it feels smooth afterwards. A number of other great ingredients in the formula. We have white mulberry root extract. So this is another brightening ingredient, really high in antioxidants. You'll see licorice leaf extract in the formula. This is fantastic for supporting the reduction of redness. So when you see that redness that sometimes appears as irritation on the skin, this can help tamp that down. And then red mandarin. Red mandarin adds just a beautiful touch of citrus to the scent. This is an ingredient that's high in vitamin C, high in natural antioxidants, really helps balance oil production in the skin. So this is a mask that's going to be great across all skin types. I'd say in particular for people who are dry, looking to sort of resolve any dullness in the skin, and again, just really introduce that radiance. So very, very excited to see that. That's product number 1 in the kit. Number 2 is our Cocoa Lips Lip Balm. So that's our unscented version. I love this product. If you're a person who's a little bit avert to scent, or particularly if you're thinking about your nighttime routine, you just want a really neutral product, this is great for supporting the lips. So it has coconut oil that's known as a deep hydrator. We have cocoa seed butter, shea butter. These are ingredients that really support the skin's moisture barrier. The lips, my friends, they can't do it on their own. They need a little bit of help to produce moisture. I love this product at night, particularly deeply because when I sleep, I breathe deeply through my mouth. What I find is that will often result in dryness on the lips when I wake in the morning. So I like to go in with a really nice thick lather. I'm talking like 10 or 12 sort of rounds around the lips, just smack them together. Make sure I have that nice thick coat that for me helps me to wake up in the morning with lips that aren't dry, that haven't sort of cracked. I'm really prone to that peeling, especially in the colder times of year, which we're just sort of moving out. So this is a really great addition to a nighttime routine. Of course, can be used through the day as well. And then the third and final product in the kit is this beautiful fabric headband. So let me show it to you up close. That's the nice like elastic part at the back. It's got this great sort of ribbon at the front, but really the key to this product is what it's made from. And my friends, it's from pineapple husk. So this is such an innovative fiber. It's a really, really cool way to look at something that's more environmentally friendly, that has a really sustainable footprint for fabric. So when you're thinking about pineapple and the way that it's used in food production, the husk is actually discarded typically. So what this does is allows for us to repurpose a part of the plant, a part of the fruit that normally, like I said, would become waste. Instead, it's spun into this incredibly innovative and durable fabric. So this is actually going to last a very long time. I've done the test. You can wash this as well when it needs a little bit of a refresh. So something you can just keep as part of your routine. So of course, this can be used just to keep the hair off the face during a skincare routine. You can use it as an accessory if you would like, and it's all going to be included again as part of the Happy Face kit. So that's what the box is going to look like. And then the full-size product I mentioned is in fact the Radiance Mode. So the small mini size that you're going to find in the kit, it's a great way to trial the product, to introduce it to your routine. Once you've fallen in love, this one here is going to be available as part of our core collection. So I'm going to show you from this one here just a little bit of what you can expect in terms of the color. So I'd mentioned it has that really nice sort of rich depth to the green. I hope you can see that there on camera, but it's really got a sort of like forest tone. So a really, really dark, beautiful tone. Just going to rub that in. We can take care of washing that off later. So like I said, when you're thinking about radiance, glow, brightening, that's the ingredient that you're going to want to take a peek at. So that's the first part of the routine. We're talking about skincare. The second part, we're going to move into product. So when you think about a wind down routine, when you think about just sort of setting the stage for rest at night, I want to introduce two products that you can use as a system. That means you can use them together to really support moving you from daytime to nighttime. These products both come to us as part of our Sleepwell category. So if you're familiar with Sleepwell, it's our most popular sleep line. This is a really potent and powerful family of products. So these are blends that are known to be deeply grounding, really stabilizing for both the body and the mind. They're a beautiful combination of ingredients that are very well renowned to support deep rest, to really give rest to both the body and mind. That's important for sleep. A lot of people report that the mind is what keeps them up at night. You're sort of going through your to-do list, you're thinking about the day, you're anticipating the future, and that sort of busyness and that mental chatter, that can keep a lot of people awake. The other side of that is more physical. So for people who have restlessness, whether that's in the legs and the arms, if they're experiencing any sort of pain in the body, that can be something that keeps you up at night as well. So you really want to think about ingredients that are going to sort of attack from both angles there, both the physical manifestations as well as what be more mental or emotional. So I'm going to introduce product number one. This is our Sleepwell RollOn. So I have with me just the mini size today. We also offer a larger size, and that's what's going to be included as part of our product bundle. So the two Sleepwell products I'm going to talk about, you can purchase both in-store and online. When you purchase the two together, a great little discount, and that's going to come with the larger size roll-on of Sleepwell. So this starts with valerian root. Valerian's the key to this product. This is a well-known herb for supportive rest. Think about valerian, you can find it in herbal form, you can find it in tinctures, in teas, in capsules, it's all over the place because of how well studied it is for its ability to impact rest. This is the hammer, this is the big gun in the product. It's that ingredient that's really going to sort of give you that base and that foundation for a great sleep. At that point, we blend all sorts of wonderful flowers and herbs together, again, well studied to support you in rest. Think about lavender, a really well-known essential oil for this. Chamomile. Chamomile is a nervine, a nervous sedative, so really great for the nervous system. This is that part I mentioned about the mind. There's also neroli in the formula. This is another piece in support of stillness, of quiet. Up here is what we're going for. Even a touch of jasmine in the formula just gives that really nice sensuous floral. So you put this all together, we have a couple products. So with the roll-on, there's a lot of areas here that you can consider in terms of application. Really choose your own adventure, do what makes sense for you. Some of the areas I would suggest are the temples. I love along the jawline personally, particularly if you're a person who grinds or clenches. A lot of people love over the throat, just at the top of the chest here. And then one of the main areas that you hear us recommend the product is being applied to the bottoms of the feet, so just along the soles. There's a couple different reasons for that. As I'd mentioned earlier about scent, if you're a person who is sensitive to scent or who's just looking to keep your scent field sort of neutral at sleep time, moving the product the furthest place away from the nose is a great way to start. There's also some really great pressure points on the bottom of the feet. They've been well studied in traditional Chinese medicine for the way they impact anything being applied, specifically pressure and product, and how that actually speaks directly to the mind. So there's some things to consider there as well. If you are applying on the feet, we always recommend just covering with a nice pair of clean socks. You'll see if I put that again up close for you there, it has a little bit of a dark color in the bottle, and that's actually from one of the chamomiles. The German or blue chamomile is what gives a bit of that blue-green color to the product. So you don't want to transfer that over to your bedding or your sheets, so we would just suggest a pair of socks. That's product number one. And then number two in the Sleepwell category, it's our bath salt soak. So I think the bath is one of the most well-regarded self-care rituals, particularly for people looking to set the tone for sleep. A lot of people use a bath at nighttime to sort of set their body on its path towards rest. It's warming, it's comforting. You can really use this space to curate a selection of products that are going to, again, be in support of that bedtime ritual. So think of the same ingredients I mentioned: valerian, different chamomiles, lavender, jasmine, neroli. You have that all in combination here with sea and Epsom salts. So we've naturally derived, naturally sourced our salts. That's going to make the base of the product. They've then been saturated with essential oils, so they're very concentrated. The biggest difference between a synthetic or sort of a drugstore bath salt versus what we're offering at Sage is that a little goes a long way. So we're not recommending cups and heaps of bath salts here. You're looking at just between maybe 2 to 5 tablespoons from your container here. And then you can just add those to a full bath, just swish to disperse the product. You get a couple of different benefits here as well. So number one is aromatic. So you're going to have the aromatic property from the vapor sort of rising up into the breathing space. We encourage you to take some deep breaths towards relaxation. The second piece is topical application. So while the salts have dispersed in the water and your body is being immersed, it's going to provide that secondary benefit as well. So those are the two products I mentioned are available as part of the Sleepwell bundle. In the Sleepwell family, there are a couple others if you want to check out in store or online. And what we're going to end our session with today is my personal favorite way to support my sleep routine, which is through diffusing. So if you've heard my sessions in the past, you have very likely heard me talk about how much I love using a diffuser in support of my sleep. This is a practice for me that goes back many, many years. What I discovered very early on is that when I support my breathing, and so for me that means encouraging really deep breathing, I fall into restful sleep and I stay asleep through the night. So let's think about diffusers for a second. I brought this one with me today. This is our Aroma stone, a personal favorite of mine. This is very similar to the diffuser I'm using currently in my bedroom for sleep. I'm going to talk about the diffuser itself, why I love how it performs, how it operates in support of sleep, and then of course we'll make some recommendations for diffuser blends. So think about this. When you head outside, say you're at the beach, beach or you're at the ocean and you have that experience of crashing surf or waves sort of coming into the shore. Think about standing near a waterfall. Maybe you've been fortunate to take a beautiful white hike to a secluded area, in experience of waterfalls, or even just after a beautiful rainfall outside the home. Think about that freshness, that deep, clear, and open breathing that so many people report experiencing when they're near water. And that really is science. It's the idea of what creates something called negative ions. And what they do is they just help to clear and release the breathing space, so really allowing for that deepness of breath. And that's what a diffuser is designed to mimic. So it uses an ultrasonic disc, just a tiny little disc in the bottom of the unit. You add clean, pure water. You add clean, pure 100% essential oils. What this does together is the disc vibrates at an ultrasonic speed. It creates a fine, cool mist. That's what's dispersed from the top of your diffuser into the air. You're then going to inhale and absorb this through the mouth, through the nose. And again, you're getting that benefit of negative ions the same way you would experience in nature. So if you're thinking about supporting your breath in that way, that's going to help you to take deep, open, and clear breaths. That's going to put you in a place of restful sleep. So a diffuser, it's simple to use. I'm going to go through it really quick. So we're going to take off your top cap here. This is your inside water tank. Down there in the bottom, that's what I talked about, is the ultrasonic disc, that little circle you'd see there in the middle. Here in your water tank, you're going to see your water level line there. We don't want to exceed that when we're filling. We add our water, our essential oils. We're going to replace both of our caps. And that's pretty much it. At this point in time, we're just going to rely on our little buttons here at the bottom. The small button on the left, that's our light. So an optional LED light feature. It's really a low amount of light. So a nice little bit of ambiance. Some people would love it for a night light. And then this has my very favorite feature for diffusing, which is what we call an intermittent setting. So diffusers often come with this setting, and what it means is that it goes into a functionality that runs for 30 seconds, turns off for 30 seconds, and then will start again, and will repeat that cycle. For this unit, you're looking at about 6 hours of intermittent diffusion time. I love that for a few reasons. Number one, that means it would run through almost my entire cycle of sleep. And I really like that idea that this product's supporting me through most of the night. The other piece is that a lot of people in aromatherapy have a lot of great things to say about giving just a little bit of a break between scent. It actually helps your nose to receive the product a little bit more when it breaks for 30 seconds, then it comes back on. There's less time for you to sort of acclimate or get used to it, so your body will just continue to receive it well over and over. And so if you do run in a continuous setting, you're going to look at about 3 hours for a diffuser of this size. What I love about all of the diffusers we offer is an auto shut-off. So what that means is you can safely run them through your sleep cycle, so throughout the night, because when the water tank has emptied, they automatically shut themselves off. They have really smart, intuitive sensors. They know if there is no water left in the tank. They're unable to produce that fine and cool mist, so they're just going to shut themselves off, which is fantastic. So now let's get to the extra fun part. This is actually introducing the blends. So I brought with me today the Sweet Dreams kit. So this is a 4-pack in support of sleep. What I love to share are that there are countless ingredients that support the body and mind in rest. What I mean by that is that there are many essential oils that have been studied for the way that they can help to induce rest, relaxation, calm, peacefulness, tranquility, whatever that looks like for you. And so the fun part is that you get to choose what makes sense for you according to your preference. So some people, for example, they're really big fans of essential oils that come from roots, from grasses, that have a little bit more depth, that really rich sort of base. They may choose oils like valerian root or vetiver. For others, for others, they may love things that are a little bit more herbaceous. So think about some beautiful herbs like marjoram. Some people love rosemary for sleep. There's also that sort of herbal floral category. So think about your chamomiles, your lavenders. I'm even going to go as far as saying citrus. Orange is an essential oil you'll find in a lot of blends for rest and relaxation. A lot of people's bodies receive that in a positive way. So you get to choose your own adventure. You get to decide what scent profile makes sense for you. What do you want to fill your space with? And that's why I love a kit like this, because it's going to give you a really great variety. I'm going to talk through the 4 blends in the kit, let you know a little bit about the ingredients in each. The first blend is called Dream State. So Dream State is actually going to be the most similar to the Sleepwell formula. The reason for that is valerian. So this is the only diffuser blend we offer that has the valerian root ingredient. That's again, richness, depth, base, a note that you're really going to sense throughout the night. We've paired it with lavender, with orange, with ylang ylang, which is a really nice musky floral scent, to give you something that, like I said, is going to have a little bit more staying power. If I'm using Dream State, I also find I need less drops. So I'm going to go more in the 4 to 6 range, particularly because I have my diffuser directly beside my bed. So that's number one. Number two is called Goodnight. This is a personal favorite of mine. What I love about this blend is that it's created without lavender. So lavender is the most well-known, the most well-regarded essential oil in terms of support for rest, but it's also an adaptogen. And what that means, a really simple way to understand that is that for some people, most people, their body experiences this product as restful, as relaxing, as sedation. And for some people, it actually has the opposite effect. So it's not that it will give you necessarily a physical boost of energy, but it may actually keep you feeling alert. You might be sort of thinking through your day, planning what you're going to have for your meals the next day or something like that, and it's not going to make you feel rested. So to have an option without lavender is something that I love, and we've included, again, some really unique special oils in the blend. A personal favorite for me is frankincense. It's meditative, it's grounding, it's deeply relaxing. We have sandalwood in the formula, so that's a sweet and woody note, well regarded for its effects on the mind. Cedarwood is another ingredient we include here. Cedarwood, again, studied as a wonderful, wonderful support for your mental health, for your mental and emotional health. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more woody, a little bit more earthy, and again, if you're a person who's a little bit sensitive to lavender, Goodnight would be the blend for you. Number three, peaceful slumber. You've heard me say it many times today, but again, it's an ingredient combination that I think is unique. It's innovative. What you're going to see really lead the charge here, it's petitgrain. So petitgrain is a little bit of a lesser known essential oil. It's very woody. It almost has like a bitter touch to it. And so if you're a person who really likes that herbal depth to your notes, this might be the one for you. It also has myrtle, so a little bit brightening, some marjoram in there, but this is the blend I reach for when I want to really, really feel connected, sort of like to the source, to the idea that like I am in my deep, restful sleep. I actually diffused this last night in anticipation of the session and just remembered how much I actually feel connected to that woody and that bitter note through the petitgrain and the way I take that in for deep breathing. That's number three. And then the fourth and final blend in the kit is called Tranquility. So Tranquility, this holds a special place in my heart. On my very, very first day of work at Sage, this was all the way back in October of 2015. I used to live in Toronto, and so I was fortunate enough to take home some product from our Queen Street store in Toronto. So I really do remember my very, very first day and night of work. I actually had the diffuser that looked just like this, the Aroma, but it was in the white version with my Tranquility. And I remember I just felt like I knew I was on a bit of a different journey. So the key ingredient in the formula for me, it's marjoram. Marjoram is fantastic in support of the respiratory tract. So it's well known to help support deep breathing. This is in combination with lavender, with orange, a little bit of Roman chamomile in the formula. And so I find that I have, like, number one, an emotional connection to the product. So it always sort of puts me back to that time in my life when I know I was sleeping really well. And then the other side is that I really love the ingredient combination. So that's number four. So this again is called the Sweet Dreams Kit. You see all four little products there. They have the names, so you could just line that up right beside your bed if you need it. So that, my friends, is going to take us to the end of our session in support of sleep. You'll see if you visit any of your local stores, if you head online to sage.com, that we're really featuring and focusing on some of our really incredible formulations for sleep. So everything to support a sort of mild, gentle sleep aid, all the way up to the big guns, something that's going to really help with some of those more chronic sleep issues. Of course, please feel free to hop over to the comment section. I am more than happy to connect with you there. Any questions, comments, or feedback you have on any of the products we've discussed today. Otherwise, as I always do, I wish you a wonderful weekend. I hope you're able to get outside, take some deep breaths in nature, really think about your sleep between now and next week before we head into that daylight savings time. And there's a little bit of an adjustment required for your body. Think about setting up a routine that's really supportive for both your mental and emotional wellness as well as your physical wellness. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you back here again soon. Take care.